Hey y'all, so thanks for sticking with us for these 3 awesome weeks for our Clientele All special. I'm so excited to bring us home this week, interviewing Wish, Raechel, and Akila, and them sharing their wonderful, wonderful wisdom. I have had so much fun with this. If you have liked this as much as I have, we would love for you to tell us. Make sure you're following us at Powerhouse Podcast _ on Instagram, and of course at Powerhouse Pageantry, at Megan _ Swanson, at Allie Mancuso, all the good things so you can make sure that you are up to date on all of our brand new products. We have over 12 products coming out this year. Some physical products. We just did a merch drop, so make sure you get that if you have not gotten our very, very, very cute cropped black Powerhouse tee and our super cute long sleeve pink sorority shirt. Hello, so cute. And they are going quickly. Anyways, I could talk about our stuff all day because I'm so excited about it, but stay tuned. Podcast listeners always hear about things first, and we have set the date for our fall mastermind, so you don't want to miss out. Here is the final interview. Okay, so we've already covered some of these, which is awesome, but I was ready. This is, I think, a really, really important question. When was the moment that you, because this is kind of what you were talking about, Wish, which I love, you have to realize of who you are before the crown, or else the crown is just going to be something that sits on your head. And then as soon as it's off your head, you still have terrible self-worth, or whatever's going on. So when was the moment that you realized kind of what we call the I'm a 10 mindset, that you're a 10 or you're a queen, or that you did have something actually valuable to bring to this world? And I know Wish, you already talked about it a little bit. So maybe let's go to Raechel, and then we can kind of go around the horn. Akila, Wish, we can end with you. But when was the moment when you realized, like, wow, I actually really am a 10 and have something to bring to the table?
Yeah, so just to give like a little context to that, I mean, I started competing after my injury, and I had done the Distinguished Young Women Program Junior Miss. So I'd done one pageant, did well. It was fun, but I was still an athlete at that time. And it was right before Miss America got rid of the swimsuit pageant. And so my very first local, I looked like a bodybuilder. Like I was up there like, okay, here I am in my swimsuit pose. And I won the pageant, and I was like, well, this is a new world. Okay. And then I got the bug. And so each year, and my mom was talking about this the other day, like I did really well at my first state competition. And she's like, I can't even imagine if you would have won. Like the person that you are now is so different than the person you were then. And so, but like to bring it back to now, I think it was really this last year, to be real honest with you. I mean, I knew that I had a good story, but I really didn't feel like my story was really, because I mean, I'm very grateful for the life that I've been able to live, and I feel very, very blessed. But I was like, well, I don't have this like significant like thing that I've gone through to like share with people. And like every one of these women has such a good like overcoming victorious story. Like I don't know what I can really like bring, blah, blah, blah. And so during this last year where I really took, like I said, I took the year of COVID to really revamp my platform because I really loved it. It's gone through a lot of changes. I've gone through change. But I was like, there's something more here. And so I sat down and like brainstormed. I literally made like a bubble like you would at high school, where you draw like the bubble and then you do like the spider things and you like say like all these different ideas. And I was like, okay, what is passion? Well, what is my passion? Well, what is the purpose? Well, what do I see? And I rewrote my platform statement and like expanded it and really felt, okay, I've hit the nail on the head. Like, this is it. And then as COVID went on and you see all these children struggling in the classroom to find like their self-worth because they're not in class, they're not with friends. The suicide rate for young people has just skyrocketed. I mean, all these things where I was like, kids need to know that they have a purpose. Oh my gosh. And so while I knew that I was prepared and qualified and had worked very hard for this job over the last few years, and I knew I could do it, I think it was really this last year where I realized, no, I need to do this job because this is super relevant right now. And I have the unique ability to do this job because of my experience and because of what my social impact is. And so throughout this year, being able to like really sit in that and be like, hey, like I want this really bad, but I also have other things that I can do later on, and the connections I've made now or back, when like each year, those are going to be there forever. And I can use those for different things, even if I don't become Miss Washington. So I think it was really, really this year.
One thing I want to add to that, so that you guys can all answer this too. The second part of this question, I'd like you to answer. So how did you become a 10 / or realize that you were a queen? When did it happen? So actually when, and then second part is how. So like, what would be your advice, I guess, to tell
other women of like the steps that you took to actually do that. Because I think like, okay, great, they're going to be listening to this, they're going to be like, but she's Raechel, but she's Wish, but she's Akila, like I follow her, she's so pretty, she's really accomplished, like, oh my gosh, I could never speak like that. Like all those thoughts start to come. So what is like, if you could give 1 to 5 points, you know, or whatever, like take us through how each of you guys also took the steps, like what's the day look like, what does the week look like, of how we can really make that tangible for people to feel like they can too.
I had to be really vulnerable. As you know, being a one that I am, I struggle sometimes to like want to get deep. So the journaling thing, like your sister, like I don't want to journal, like that's ridiculous. And so having to like even just drawing out that bubble of like, okay, sitting down and taking the time to really think about like my story and like what happened. Those were the moments that I was like, whoa, okay. And leaning into yourself. I mean, as cliche as that sounds, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten was from a coach at a soccer coach. And he said, the ability for someone to say thank you when you receive a compliment is really powerful, because a lot of people are like, oh, no, like it's okay. And you're trying to be humble, but it really, like someone is taking the time to compliment you because they think you've done something well. And so being able to respond and be like, thank you, I really appreciate that. Being okay, like being proud of the work that I've done, and every day being like, no, I did a really good job on that. Or like, no, like this Zoom call that maybe no one else will see that I did with these 10 kids, that was really, really powerful. And no one else did that. And like I really took the time to like document the things that I had done this last year, or like the work every day. I just did a little bit more, making sure that you are being intentional with your day, using a planner, whether it's the full focus planner that you use, Megan, or anything else, and making sure that you are being intentional with where you're spending your time, and really like taking the time to like look into yourself. Again, I know that sounds like so cliche, but it's true. And I think for me, just being okay with being emotional, being more vulnerable, and taking the time to really lean into what I knew that I did have to offer, and that it was okay to be proud of those things. And it was okay to share that with other people and not be nervous, because it doesn't matter what other people think. And really, like, that has also changed for me this year. So yeah, I hope that's not too like oversimplified, but it's really powerful when you just take the time to like be like, you know what, I did a really good job today, whatever that is that you did.
No, I love that. I don't think that's oversimplified at all. I think that's very specific to your life journey, and I think that's wonderful. As for me, I knew I was a 10 the moment I was born. Like, let's go. Let's
yes.
do this. But no, to be completely realistic here, I think it's 100% acceptable to say that you will not always feel like you're a 10, and then other days you're going to feel like you're a 100. And it's okay to feel whatever number you feel for that day. It's okay to feel your feelings, but your feelings are not always valid. And so for me, what that means is like, I might feel like a 0, but that does not mean I'm not a 10. It doesn't mean that my worth has suddenly decreased because something happened. I'm always going to be a 10, but sometimes I just need to sit with that moment of just, I don't feel like a 10. And when I sit with that, I can understand, why don't I feel like a 10? Compare it to when you do. So everyone will have a moment at some point in their lives. And maybe for some people, it might have been when they were 6 or 16 or 26. But whatever that moment was when you felt like a 10, compare that to why you don't feel like a 10 now. So for me, I always felt like a 10 when I was active duty. I don't know why. Something about me being in the Marine Corps was just, it was my calling point at that time of my life. And it's just something that resonated with me. I felt like I was doing God's will. I had my purpose, and I felt like a 10. You could not tell me I was not a 10 at any point in my active duty career. I would shoot you down in a heartbeat. I was a 10. You could not tell me otherwise. But when I got out, I was straight up feeling like a 0. Had no idea how to get back to that 10 until I compared the two. And it's just like, for me, I got to become a 10 again, or I got to realize I was a 10 by seeing how, and I was in the military, I felt like I had purpose. When I got out of the military, I didn't feel that purpose was there. It always was. You always have a purpose, but you don't always see it for what it is. So figuring out what that purpose is, or recreating a new purpose, which was what I had to do.
100%.
I had to recreate my new purpose. And so finding that purpose, and that what Raechel was saying about introspective and self-discovery and really sitting with yourself and coming into who you are and just self-reflection. It's so important, and it's not basic. It's not, meditation is cliche. It's so important to just understand who you are as a person and your values and your opinions, and to grow from that, because you're a 10 no matter what you think or what people tell you. You're always going to be a 10. You just got to remember why you are that 10. And so for me,
that was
when I got out of
perfectly
the
well
military, yeah, it just became how to become a 10 again in my mindset. I know I'm a 10, but my mindset needs to catch up to what reality is. So mine was sitting with myself, reflection, surrounding yourself with people who recognize your value and worth. So I had a wonderful support system through my family and my boyfriend and friends. And whenever I couldn't see what my value was, they would help me, remind me with just gentle reminders here and there, until I could start internalizing it and remembering. It's almost like when you have a veil on and you can't quite, everything's kind of fuzzy, or like maybe you have bad eyesight and it's just fuzzy. When you find the right thing, the right person to help lift the veil, or you find the right person to help you get the glasses on and it's all clear again. And that's kind of how it was when I ran into you, Megan, is like, you were my glasses. You kind of helped me remember that I am a 10. I've already been a 10.
Yes, to wrap this all into a sweet bow, this, I don't know, the confident sounding girl you hear before you today was very much a veil of like, I was like, we're going to fake it until it's actually real. I'm going to be so confident in myself that everyone's going to believe that I'm confident. So I went to these periods of, I like to call sudden self-confidence. So I'd be walking around like, yeah, girl, I'm so beautiful. And dang, I look so good. And truly, honestly, I'd like go home and I would just cry. Like I would just cry all the time. Or I would like go into be like, I need to go to the gym like every day, every hour, and just work out because I'm so hideous. Or, oh my God, I need to go get some procedure done, or I need to like whatever. Like I need to hide something about myself. And then I was like, what secret way can I get something done that no one's gonna know, that I'm not super confident in myself and no one's gonna know, because I'm just gonna get it done really fast, or I'm gonna do something like, and it was just horrible. It was just not a way to live. And it was just, and it wasn't until Megan told, like, I've really never heard Megan's story until this year. And then Megan was like, I was like, oh my God, that's me. Sometimes I just look in the mirror and I'm like, 0, you are a 0 out of 10. No one's ever going to love you. Go on with your garbage life. Goodbye. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I will just live in that truth. Like that was my truth and forever. And I was just like, I'm going to just be great at everything. And I'm going to do my best in the things I can do. And then I'll be a 10. And then I now I'm like vice president or president of any organization I'm in. I'm like, cool, I'm a boss lady. Am I a 10? And I went, nope, you still suck. You suck so bad. And I was like, I know. Akila's shocked about the twist and turns of the story, but I was like, nope, we still suck. And then I went, even like I'd be like, yep, nope, you're garbage. And I was just like, I heard Megan just talk about it, and I think it was one of my calls with Megan. Like she like does like little 10-minute check-ins for free, and I was like, yeah, 10 out of 10 where I resonate in the free area. And she was just like, and I was telling her, I was like, I'm having these panic attacks again. I don't know why. I feel so awesome. I did everything. I'm working so hard. And Megan's like, so what's going on? And I'd be like, I don't know, maybe blah 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 blah, personal information. And I was like, but I don't know. She was just like, and I did that a couple of times in a row, and Megan went, so it seems like and you're covering up with, I don't know. Like you definitely know what's going on. And she was just like, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna fix that. And I thought I did a bunch of work, but I didn't. And I just was like, I'm gonna work the best, I'm gonna walk the most, and then I can't fail. If I know everything, if I've done everything, I can't be a 0. I'm done awesome. Tune into Mastermind. See, I'm still kind of working on my 10 mindset, even from 2 weeks ago. But my Mastermind happened. It was mock interview day. Raechel saw this. I went in there and I meditated. I was so reflective in who I was. So it was I was in a place of inner peace. My mind was open. And I went in there and they were like, first question, what on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you? And I went 9.5, because there's always room for improvement. But most days I'm like a 5. And then it was like, I was like, just real. That was just how I felt that day. It was just how my brain processed things. I was like, I'm like a 9.5, but really just a 5, like resonating in 5 energy. And Amber just went, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't feel, I'm not a 10. It's is not true. And then Mama Swan came and she just said, tell everyone, she was like, you are beautiful. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who needs to, you are beautiful. You are 10. That is what you need to, seriously. And I just went, "Ah," and I just cried my eyes out because I was just like, I don't know. It was just crazy to me that someone else could say that about me. And like, sometimes when people say they're just coming from a place of artificial, like, oh, you should hear that you're beautiful. And that'll make all the women want to tune in even more if they feel validated. But Mama Swan just wouldn't lie. Like, she was like, some of you guys just have ugly souls. I feel like if that was the case there, she would have said it. She would have been like, some of you just aren't the vibe. But it just wasn't the truth. The truth was we were beautiful. And I like just went back and and I've had a couple realizations in my life, especially in the last year, about who my friends are and where my life was going to be, and the energy I was giving, and like who I wanted in my life that made it possible, like who made it possible to feel so nasty, and who I can make like, so slowly my life through all those times I would go from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, like that's where I felt. But it was Mastermind truly that made me feel like a 10. Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was just all, I shouldn't be feeling sudden self-confidence. I should feel self-confidence all the time. It shouldn't feel like someday. And I was like, there's always, it wasn't just like, oh, now I want to be the best I can be so people don't know that I'm so empty on the inside. I want to be the best I can be because I'm full of who I am. I want to be able to better like aid that goal, or better aid who I want to be. And it wasn't so if I'm gonna have to give lifetime advice, if you want to be a confident person, don't fake it. Like sometimes you just have to be real and say, I'm not confident. I'm not confident myself. Help me. Because it's true. Like you should feel confident in who you are. You shouldn't hide that you feel like crap, because that's where you get like mental health issues. That's where you hide you have depression for freaking 17 years of your life, and you just get to a point where then you have severe symptoms and you feel like crapola all day. And that's not who you're meant to be. That's not who God put you on this earth to be. It's true. So some lifetime steps I can give you is, you're feeling crappy that day, you can't look at yourself in the mirror, you need to go call somebody, whoever, your mentor, your friend, your hype person, your parents, whoever that is to you. You need to call them and say, God, I don't feel good. I'm not feeling myself. And you need to figure out the root of that problem, whether that's through journaling, talking it out, being available to it. You need to understand that's a part of your life. And then you need to go, then every day you need to work to that goal where you don't feel like, my dad says this all the time, where he always is a wealth of knowledge, but he's always like, if this is your goal, everything you need to do needs to be up to that goal. And my goal for a hot second, because you can't worry about how you look or losing weight or blah, 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 if you don't like yourself, because then that's when those habits become unhealthy. Well, you need to my goal basically now after Mastermind was like, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym as much as I can because that makes me feel good. And there's things in my dress that I know I'm going to like do well in. So this is how I want to look. This is how I want my body to feel. So I'm not there to be the skinniest girl there. I'm there because for self-confidence, this is what I want. So my goal has never been, every day is my goal to be Miss Nevada. Every day, my goal is to wake up and like myself. And I have to say, that's how I was like, that's true. I'm going to cry thinking about it, but that's truly like the win I'm going to get at the end of the day. Like, and it probably won't be at Miss Nevada, but I'll actually, no, I'm starting to like myself now, but I truly like, I can say nowadays, like I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I like myself because I've worked hard. I've picked this. I was like, I like feeling prepared. I like the feeling of knowing that I've done everything I can do. And so it doesn't matter whether or not I leave with the job of my dreams, or I get into the school I want, or I get the position that I wanted within the clubs I'm in, or I get the crown of Miss Nevada. I don't even care, but I can look in the mirror and I say, I like myself. I like who I am. I love my heart. I think I'm pretty. And that's all that matters. To me, at least to me. So it's a daily effort. It's a daily constant struggle to say you like yourself. And it's my goal. It's what I'm going to do. Period.
Love it. Well, thank you all for being so vulnerable with that. A couple highlights that I wanted to encourage people who are listening. And you guys are so wise. I'm so proud. I'm like, yes, it's working. But literally, I don't think that you guys realize even how profound you are. But I want to highlight the fact that I think we could sum all that up by the fact that everybody's journey is different. And we hear that all the time. But like, if you really take that into consideration and you make a plan for the things that you can control, you make a plan for the ways that you want to grow, I think that the affirmation of accolades or positions or whatever, those will naturally happen as they're supposed to happen. But you have to become the woman that you want to become first, because like attracts like, and people can sense when there is a incongruency of what we're projecting on the outside and what's actually going on. We can fool people sometimes, but that's also exhausting. I've lived that life. I've lived that life in college where I was faking it every single day. Like Wish said, it's exhausting. And if you already have some mental illness in place or some things going on, it's just going to exacerbate that. So I love each and every one of your individual steps. I think people can readily apply those right away. And I just want to encourage people that life is 50-50. You know, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. And I love what Akila said, you know, really a combination of what all of you said. It doesn't have to affect your self-worth. Like, stop making your circumstances the mirror to who you are, and build a foundation of your foundation telling you who you are, you know, whether that's the Lord or whether that's whatever. And I always say on the podcast too, highly recommend something that's not going to leave you or forsake you. You can choose to put it in a boyfriend, but if you're like under the age of 21, they're probably still an idiot. So, you know, to each their own. But honestly, I think just that perspective of even like, hey, I'm going to let my journey be my journey. And I love the authenticity of even what you said, Wish. Like, I've told people that you're only like 19 or whatever. And people are like, what? Like, what? You know? And it's because you do carry a presence. And I want to commend you with that and affirm you in that you do carry such a presence, and God's made you tall, and God's made you all the things that he's made you. And each and every one of you have specific things about yourself that's on purpose for a purpose. And I think when we finally take a look in the mirror and we say, okay, this is the body God gave me, you know, this is the eyes that God gave me. And what am I going to do with it, God? How do you want to reform this and refine this and polish it and make it in a sense of where I can be vulnerable and beautiful? And I can learn how to put on the best dang makeup and hair and figure out what colors look good on me and styles of fashion that can naturally, you know, yeah, I'd love to get compliments. I love to learn how to accept compliments. I love what you said, Raechel, all these things. But also when we polish the inside, I think it builds a self-respect that, Wish, you said that so beautifully. Like, you redefined your goals based off what was actually in alignment with who you wanted to be. And when you actually set a goal because you're like, I feel better when I go to the gym. It's not because I need to. It's not because I have to. It's not because I have to be a certain size. It's not because of Miss Nevada. I just feel better and I want to feel better. So I'm going to go to the gym. See how much more that's going to stick when it actually is in alignment with the things that you care about. If we would just do that with all areas of our life, and certainly with competitions, with pageants, with everything, and find the grounding point and the root system of what's actually going to help you to move towards those goals, you will find that the transformation happens quicker. It happens farther. You know, you're going to get from 0 to 100 a lot faster, and you're going to bring people along the way that are positive and encouraging and influensive. And you're going to find yourself even in rooms with people, you guys, of people that you never imagined. You're going to skip levels. You're going to get to hang out with influencers and people that you look up to, because you're becoming that person who's worthy of being in that room. You've always been worthy, but you're actualizing that, you know, from the inside out. So I just want to say thank you so much for all being on the podcast today. You guys have provided such wisdom and such different perspectives on things. I'm going to put in the show notes where everybody can reach you so they can follow you on Instagram and stuff like that. And I love every single one of you very, very, very much. And I'm just so proud of you and your journeys. And I'm so excited for everything else that you guys will continue to do in the future. So thank you so much for.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to our 3-part client tell all. I can finally reveal what next week's special episode is, and we are going to be bringing back timed mock interviews. So many of you guys have been requesting it, and we listen to what you have to say. So next week, you guys will have the opportunity to practice interview questions in the car, on the go, super easy. And by the way, if you like that kind of a thing, you definitely need to sign up for Pageants and Politics. You guys can look at the resource in the resource section below at the show notes, and we'll have the perfect website for you guys. Just click on it and you guys can go to it. Otherwise, as always, you can reach out to us on social media or click the contact us button at our website, and we will hook you up with that. So with that, we'll see you guys next week. As always, leave us a 5-star review if this has helped you, and send this to 3 friends that you want to be blessed today. Okay, y'all. See you soon. Bye.